Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to VTP Stage 2 Online, Technical Tuesday Coaching Call number 200 for the 14th of July 2026. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you have had some enjoyable trading sessions in what is once again another eventful week and an eventful month and an eventful quarter and an eventful year that is 2026. As the old Chinese saying goes, may you live in interesting times. And I think it's probably fair to say we have been. As you said, this is the 200th, of the Stage 2 Technical Tuesday coaching calls, hence why I have opened it up to live stream. If you're joining us there on YouTube live stream, it's great to have you here with us. It's really fascinating to have people here. And I hope that you're able to take a little bit of insight from this. This is the weekly call that we do every Tuesday, 12 o'clock, 12:30 rather, just looking at a little bit more of the kind of some of the technical details within FX indices and commodities markets. As always, you are very welcome here, but just remember that you're always responsible for your own trading decisions. And if you want a little bit of help in sustaining and improving your performance, there is the VTP Trader Accountability Group that is running this quarter, helping build discipline, accountability, and consistency in your trading. You can ping me if you've got questions, or that QR code will take you there, or there's a bit.ly code that will take you there that you can see there. Or as I said, you can ping me if you've got any questions. Let's take a look at Aussie dollar. And the reason is because, as I said, Aussie's held up a little bit on the weekly chart. The weekly has been holding it up on the STAM, but, I've been talking about this for months that actually, Aussie has been weakening. So I've got Aussie on the weekly, pound Aussie, Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss franc, Aussie yen, Euro Aussie, Aussie Kiwi, and the ASX. The ASX, just not terribly exciting or interesting there at the moment for me. But if we look at that, there's basically Aussie, weakening against the US dollar there, even sterling, strengthening against the Aussie. The dollar there. Aussie against Canadian, all right, is interesting because Canadian's been at the bottom, but if you look at that, I see that as a triple top with the third leg being a bearish engulfing, and now we're kind of the 20 starting to roll, we're starting to sit there on that, Aussie Swiss, Aussie Swiss, this is kind of like even though the Swiss has been weakening faster, we can see that basically Aussie is kind of working its way a little bit low. I know the last 2 weeks is a little bit bump, but they're kind of I don't see that as a bull flag, right? I see that as it kind of working its way a little bit down. Aussie against the Kiwi, Aussie against Kiwi had strengthened. We're going to look at Kiwi, I think, as well in a moment. But then we had this real big bearish engulfing candle a couple of months back, It was say bearish engulfing. It's a rejection candle. It's a domino candle. It's a key reversal candle. And kind of double topped, and then as you can see, we're kind of that Aussie weakness, has been coming in there. Even Euro has managed to strengthen a little bit against the Aussie, and interesting as well, yen is at its weakest in 40 years against against the dollar, and it has been a fantastic trend. That is the Aussie yen trend, for most of the last year, and it has been fantastic, and I've enjoyed that very much. But I thought we were starting to peel off here just in front of the wall, and then the wall basically pumped us up. But then, it's kind of a little bit of, we kind of flushed these highs, but if you look at it, we really struggled to hold up. And then basically we printed bearish engulfing, bearish key reversal, bearish domino. All right, you can label it as you want. And we're starting to work our way lower, aren't we? The daily chart, you can see it is kind of working our way lower there. That's what we're seeing, and it's just reflecting that the Aussie Aussie weekly charts haven't changed on the STAM much because the STAM is not there to identify turning points. But when you're doing this every week, all right, when you're going through the charts every week, you start to build a picture of what's going on, all right, and actually what you can see. So